Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Samp&Chance. I am your host, Bobby Sampson, joined as always with me, my man with the master plan, Mr. Chance Michaels. Chance, how are you, buddy? Happy beginning of the week.
Doing pretty good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I can't complain. Long weekend is come and gone. The busy storm that was brewing in my world is kindly dissipated. So things are good. Can't complain.
Nice.
Yeah, absolutely. How was the long weekend for you?
It was good. Yeah, it's busy.
Yeah.
Kid at hockey. I seen Carlito wrestle. I have to
Let's
give
talk
honors to
about
you.
that. Yeah, let's
Yeah,
talk about that. I purposely asked you how your weekend
I
was
hate
so
to
we could
say
talk.
it, but
No,
I just call
we
it like I
need
see
to.
it.
No, and we need to call it like you see it,
Because
right?
some
So
of my
you were
friends
there.
do work for these guys, but
Right,
here's the
right.
thing: the shows itself were lackluster. Some of the
Okay.
guys they threw out there were some of their bottom end talent. And
Right.
so when you're at the fair, I was at the show on Saturday at 2. You got probably 80% of people in that crowd never seen All Star before. Just a bunch of randoms sitting down. Show started, people are excited. I'm sitting by a few random guys like, this is crap, this sucks, this stinks. They go, this is garbage. And they started leaving because they gave us some of the lower end talent. It was so bad. They're missing punches. They could barely kick. They could barely move. It was horrible. One or two guys did put on a good show. Carlito came out. In the match that I seen, he did maybe two or three clotheslines, a body slam, did the apple spot, and left.
That was it.
Carlito looks good. Like, he's built. He looks good, but he didn't put out much effort. I get he's not going to get hurt on an indie show, but it was a major, major letdown, dude. Like, it
Well,
was
I
it was
think
one of the worst wrestling shows I've ever attended. That's how bad this was. And I've been to a lot of indie shows. This was terrible. Absolutely god awful terrible.
that
Honestly with you. I
bad, eh?
hate saying that because some
No,
of my friends work
we
there,
have
but I
to
gotta be
talk.
honest.
No,
It was
we have
terrible.
to talk about it because when you told me
I'll
the
give you a
same
couple of
weekend.
examples. With the ring announcer, I don't know who he was, and a guy I've never seen. He's from Cloverdale, whatever, I guess works All Star. And repping the next match. Oh, sorry guys, I forgot who's repping. Man, I'm so sorry, I just forget. Come on out, ref. Ended up being Perry Legal. But it's so bad. Perry counts 1, 2, 3, nobody rings the bell. They're playing the wrong music. Tons of flubs. I mean, Carlito was cool to see. I think most of the crowd didn't know who he was, though. Just because you're at the rodeo, you're just getting a bunch of randoms coming in, right? They had a chance, I thought, to really elevate their product. Give us your best guys. Show the random people that don't even know who you are why you're the best wrestling in town. They totally dropped the ball on that.
Well, okay, so you told me all this, and I was pretty disheartened by it because I asked you to go to the show because I couldn't
Mm-hmm.
make it, right? And I was looking forward to this review from you, and what you came back to me with was what you just said, right? And I
Yeah,
started thinking to myself, like, what was the first thing I asked you? Were Odin Rex or Thunder from Jolinder there? And you
they
said
were not
no,
on the card
right?
that
Okay,
I
so they
seen.
weren't, but well, they weren't on the card, and chances are they probably weren't there either. To be
Odin was
fair,
there. I
Odin
seen
was
Odin.
there. Okay,
Yeah,
because I know Thunder wasn't there, right? So here's my thinking. Here's an opportunity to grow a fan base. You've started, like, it's an old promotion,
yep,
but under new ownership. Here is an opportunity. If we talk about this a lot on our show, the casual fan.
yeah. Which were tons of them at this show. All it
Right.
was.
So the casual fan is the fan that potentially could become a regular fan or a
Yeah.
more invested fan. And that's what you want at the end of the day, because the casual fan will come when you bring in the big name,
Oh
and that
yeah.
will pay a lot of those bills. But you need to have your consistent fan base, right? So the problem I have with what you said, not what you said per se, but the problem I have with all of it is the fact that you had an opportunity to grow your promotion leaps and bounds. New didn't have this opportunity. Defy didn't have this opportunity. You guys had this opportunity, and based on what you're telling me, they fumbled it really, really bad,
Oh
and
yeah.
that's really bad for the art of wrestling, in my opinion.
It
Because
wasn't just me saying that. As people beside me, people that I talked to that went
yeah,
to the show said this was horrible. Dude, they started the show with like maybe 500, 600 people watching it. As
yeah,
each match went on, it just started piling up. By the time Carlito got there, over half of the crowd has already gone.
yeah, and that's unfortunate. What was the
Mm-hmm.
ticket price?
It's free, part of the
Oh, it's
show.
part of the admission. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So that's why there were so many people in there watching it. Because hey, let's
Yeah,
go check out some wrestling. How we like these guys or that guys, and they're just like
yeah.
they weren't impressed, man.
No way. Oh, I'm
No.
sorry to hear that, man. It's really unfortunate because it was an opportunity to really, really shine. And in the past, I bet these Cloverdale shows have been amazing. Like the crowd's into it. Like when Diamond was there, when we were talking to Scotty and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Different vibe, different energy that I was getting from you guys talking about that show in the same venue.
Yeah.
Um, it's unfortunate. I really wish they can figure their situation out here, man, because I know it's a long weekend and I know a lot of your guys are probably on holiday with their family
Yeah,
and
that could
whatnot.
be too, but
But
still.
the fact of the matter remains, you want to build this promotion to be big, and you have the name. The name
Yep.
itself is big. You know what I mean? It's kind of like, I don't know. It's
I'll give
frustrating.
Carlito credit. Like he didn't put much effort into his tag team match. I mean, he's going through the motions, but he looks good. He's 44, still built, looks well.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
did it
no, I mean, he's
right,
gonna
but
do what
like,
he's gonna do. What does he care? He's gonna do three, he's gonna do his 5 moves, get paid, and go home. I mean,
yep,
he's not invested here. You know what I
yeah,
mean? It's just another date for him. And after showing up at WWE in San
yeah, that's
Juan,
a huge one,
right?
right?
I mean, he knows his value
Yeah,
and how much he's gonna get going forward. So I mean, if you want to look at the bright side, AEW or All Star probably saved money getting him when they did.
yeah, absolutely. And that's, don't get me wrong, I'm not just trashing at All Star. I've seen some good All Star shows in the last year or two, but this was not. This was very, very bad. It was poorly booked. It was poorly ran from the announcers to the refing to the music to the wrestlers. It was a
No,
total.
look, All Stars put on great shows. They have.
Mhm.
Ever since the new ownership took over, the new group has been here. They put on some really, really
Yeah,
crackers of shows, man. And I mean, I've been to about 5 or 6 of them since they've taken over, and I have not been disappointed in
yeah,
any of
they've
them.
been some good ones.
There've been some good ones. The crowds have been into them. The work has been great. The work rate's been great. I mean, all of it, the flow of it, just the way it's all been put together. I have not seen a bad indie show this year, and I'm glad I didn't go because then I would have had to add,
No, you
21
didn't miss
right?
anything, dude.
So yeah,
No.
all right, okay, okay. Well, that's done and done. You know what?
Yep.
We have Night of Champions coming up this weekend, my friend. Not
Yeah.
last weekend, this weekend.
This
And the
Saturday.
crowd, the card's grown exponentially since then.
Mm.
Ironically enough, 2 titles will not be defended on this card, but why don't we just run it down really quick here for
Yeah, let's
everyone?
do it.
Yeah. All right. So WWE heavyweight, the new heavyweight championship of the world, AJ versus Seth. I think we already kind of made our predictions, but we can run through it one more time if you want really quickly. I'm still gonna stick with Seth Rollins on this one. I
Yes.
just feel AJ is probably going to go into a program with Roman or something just to fill up some of that. That's perfect for him. I mean, AJ's on SmackDown. It makes total sense to make him the #1 contender on that side. So
This will
this
be a
is
good match, though. It
well,
should be a really good match, but Seth will take it.
well, the way I'm looking at it is like this: they're putting so much effort in the vignettes and the sit-down interviews with Seth Rollins and whatnot. Like, I mean, you only do that if the guy's going to do something, in my
Yeah.
opinion, right? And it's like Ultimate Fighter. The longer the segments the guys get behind the camera talking and stuff, those are the guys that are going to be around longer than the other guys,
Yeah.
right? So, from that perspective, yeah, I mean, it doesn't make any sense to put it on anyone else but Seth and see where they kind of go with that there. I know you want to see a younger guy, but this could be potentially the opening of the door for a younger guy. Put it on the journeyman, put it on the
Yeah.
guy who knows. It's kind of like what they did in AEW, giving Jericho the belt first,
Yeah.
right? And you didn't need to give it to him. You could have given it to Hangman. You could have given it to anybody, but you give it to the established guy first. Let him put some shine on it. Let it give it some value. Then you start passing it on to the young blood like Bronson Reed and those
Guys
guys,
like that. Yeah.
right? I
Yeah, no,
think,
Seth will win this. He's been working hard lately, so he
yeah.
deserves it, I guess, of all the guys right now.
Well, dude has a legit chip on his shoulder, and it's becoming more and more evident. This is not a work anymore. It's not kayfabe. Like what he's saying is legitimate. He feels slighted that Roman has the spot that he feels he should have. And a lot can argue that, Seth could potentially be that guy. And, he could have been that guy if they put that energy behind him the way they did Roman.
Yeah.
So, even though he's accomplished everything and he's broken records that Roman could never touch, and at the end of the day, you put them both in the ring with a broomstick. I bet you anything, Seth will have a better match with the broomstick than Roman.
Seth can out wrestle Roman, but I think Roman's a little bit bigger, a little bit stronger, a little more of like the champion Vince sees in a guy, a little more
That's it.
muscular. That's
Well, no,
what it
no,
is.
no, no, no. That's it completely, 100%. I mean, that's what it is, 100%. And I think from that perspective, Seth is slighted. And he's just angry. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he's legit not happy with the company in any way like that.
And
He's not
you never
happy.
go backstage. Some of these guys rub the bosses the wrong way, so they penalize you a little bit. All right. You know what I mean? There's all little things backstage we don't see where he could have ignored somebody, been talked rude to them. So they screw you up that way too if they want to, right?
Sometimes it's a double standard, man. I mean, we go back to the Riddle thing, right? I'm only mentioning this because of what
Yeah,
you said right now. It's like, Riddle's dick gets shown on the internet and, you're getting promos for him and you're getting this, like they're building the
yeah,
guy up. For someone who does that, and, normally you would think, okay, you're going to be suspended or we're going to keep you off TV or whatever the case and put you on main event, make you lose a couple matches. This guy's getting vignettes to promote his name,
crazy. He's
right?
lucky, man. The stories kind of went away. He dodged a big bullet there.
Oh, he dodged a huge bullet, man. But I think, the other thing is, man, honestly, we live in a world where dick pics and fucking leaked nude pictures of celebrities is so common now.
Very common, dude. You can't keep track of it all anymore.
Well, people are just jaded. We are a jaded world, man. I mean, ever since 1992, the Gulf War, I'll go that far back. I'll go back to the Gulf War of
Yeah,
92. It's when our society became jaded. Because
that's
that
fair.
was the first time in any war, right? Legit war that we could potentially see.
Yeah,
We're getting live images back. We didn't get that from Vietnam. We didn't get that from Korea. We didn't get that from any other war.
that's true.
This was the very first war where they were sending direct images back from the war site. You could see the bombs blowing up. You could see everything. We never saw that before on TV.
That's
I
true.
remember I was in grade 11. I ran home and turned on CNN. Who the fuck goes home from after school to turn on CNN?
Nobody nowadays, but back then it was
Right.
different. Yeah,
But all of a sudden, oh my God, look at this. Wow. Right.
yeah,
We didn't have internet was just emerging, bro. It
yeah.
was just coming out. It was still kind of really weak, but it was just emerging, right?
Yeah, I was starting to hit the. Yeah, it was coming
Right.
out a bit.
Yeah. So we didn't have, everything we have today. We just saw that and it happened. And then the beheading started. So
Yeah,
video after video was released of people getting their heads chopped off, right? And it's kind of the first couple of times you're like, oh my God, what the fuck? You turn away. But all of a sudden now we're just jaded. We see bombs blowing up. We see people getting shot. We see people getting killed, like legit shot right there in
yeah,
front of you. And you're just looking at it. It all looks like movies, but
yeah.
it's
We
real,
becoming numb to it. That's for sure.
right? So, again, just to kind of bring it all here, this is what's happening now. It's like,
Yeah,
Riddle got away with it because of the time we live in.
yeah,
5 years ago, this would not have happened,
yeah. They would have suspended him for sure.
right? Like, why are you sending dick
It
pics?
seems to me Riddle has a pattern. I think he's going to screw up again. He's been screwing up many, many times. He's going to do something stupid. It seems.
He's this
It's a pattern
generation,
for him.
dude. He's this generation's Randy Orton. He's
Yeah,
legit. And the more I look at him, the more I see it. The more I see a young Randy in him, where Randy kept fucking up, fucking up, fucking up. But eventually he figured it out. And, I mean, if it, hopefully it turns around. I don't think drugs and stuff are his issue per se now, but it just, I
hopefully
think,
not. Yeah,
well, he needs to figure his shit out. That's all I'm going to say.
he's not as popular or as good as Randy Orton, so he keeps goofing around. They will get rid of him. Randy Orton was a top talent, right? So he got away with a little bit of stuff. If you're like a mid card, upper mid card guy, they could get rid of you. If you
Well,
keep messing up. Depends.
I think they're holding on to him because he has so much potential, man. If they were going
He
to let him
does.
go, they would have let him go a long time ago. There's so many guys with his body shape, his symmetry, and what he can do in the ring. He's not the only one who can pull those things off. There's
Yeah.
something special in this guy that potentially could blow up to be something bigger. But it all depends. To be honest, I love to see a heel Riddle.
That could be good.
I think that'd be fun. The dopey heel,
Yeah, he is a very dopey dude.
right?
Yeah, he could do that. He's very
I think
talented.
that-
He's a good character.
No, he's great. I mean, he's good at what he does, right? I mean, backstage, a lot of people, he's nothing like he is on TV backstage. He's very quiet, very subdued, very
Oh, is he?
kind of into himself. Yeah, like, a lot of guys take him the wrong way when they first meet him because they don't realize, like, he's just to himself. He's not the kind of guy to walk into a room and say hi to everybody,
Yeah, he's just so dude.
right? He's just kind of, hey, come in, hi, and go to his corner and do his thing, and when Randy first met him, he totally thought he was a penis. Like, he hated the guy until he got to know him, because he just thought, like, what's this guy doing? You don't come into the dressing room and not shake hands and do all the things you're supposed to do, right? I mean,
Yeah.
whenever you walk into a dressing room, wrestling protocol is what? You walk in, you shake everyone's hand,
Yeah,
right? He didn't
Supposed
do any
to.
of those things. You're supposed to, right?
he didn't, eh?
He didn't. But then again, as the old generation fades out here, brother,
Yeah, the newer guys don't care about that tradition stuff
they
anymore.
don't do
Really.
that tradition stuff. No, it was all about respect and hierarchy. I mean, that was what wrestling was. Like, the old boys were the old boys, and the young boys coming in You know, they tied up their shoelaces. They carried their bags.
Oh yeah,
Right? All that shit was legit. That's the way it was run. I mean, it's very similar to what they do in New Japan, the new boys. It's like these are the guys, the up and coming wrestlers. They work in the back of all the other guys. If they clean up the dojo, they clean everything up, they put everything away, and then they get their opportunities. They're called the
yeah,
young boys, right?
yeah,
So, you know, same kind of philosophy. I mean, it's just the North American version of it wasn't called young boys, it's just young talent
yeah,
paying their dues, right? So
yeah. It's completely changed now.
no, the whole world has changed. All right, man. So we went off on a huge tangent here from that first match. Let's get back to this card here. So Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus Roman Reigns and Solo Sakai. Uh I
For the belts.
yeah, for the belts, right? But again, you know what? This is again to further the story. We've talked
Yeah,
about this, and this is more and more evident that these tag team titles, and I think this is the last one, and then we'll probably see them move on to Imperium, to Judgment Day, and stuff like that, and have some different programs. But I
yeah,
think this is the last match to fuel the rest of this story now.
yeah.
Ultimately, I really feel it's going to come down between Jay and Roman at some point here.
They're gonna get
This
at
is
it eventually. You can see it's building.
this is what it's building up to. So just to clarify for everybody what we're talking about, last week on SmackDown, Roman came out and he talked about, you know, everything he talks about, and then he turned to the Usos and said that, you know, what we were going to talk about this. You guys lost at WrestleMania. I mean, to be fair, this is the first time Roman's been on TV since Mania,
Yep. Yeah, they
right?
definitely picking their spots for him.
Right.
I'm
So
glad he's
that
wrestling the champion, so it's good to get him out.
well, they have to get him out eventually, man. I mean, he missed the last pay-per-view, so he has to come to this one.
Yeah.
And from what I'm hearing in WWE land, apparently at some point these Saudi shows are going to pocket them over $200 million a show.
Oh, they're gonna keep going to Saudi Arabia, man. They pay and they get the boxing there, they're getting the wrestling there, man.
Hey
Can't say
man, if
no.
they're gonna pay, they're gonna pay, they're gonna pay, right? I
Yeah.
mean, who else is gonna pay Bill Goldberg 2 million every time he goes to
That's because the Saudi Prince is a big Goldberg fan, right?
right? Which is ironic because he's Jewish.
I know. I don't think he figured that part out, but
Dude, they gotta figure it out, man. Everyone's shouting Goldberg, goal. A whole stadium full of Arabs shouting Goldberg.
for the Jew, yeah.
Who would have ever thought?
Nobody.
What
Goldberg will have
world?
one more match. I don't know where it'll be. I don't think AEW will even pick him up, but who knows?
Well, I mean, he can't even take a shot from his tractor, it seems like, without getting his head cut open, man.
Because the AEW crowd's not into Goldberg type of guy, right? I don't think they'd enjoy him over there, the fans.
Um, oh no, they'd enjoy him because it's another face showing up on another show, right? I mean, all of a
Well,
sudden,
I mean, Tony Khan might, but I don't think the fans, they boo the crap out of him. They don't like kind of Goldberg kind of guys. They don't think he can
yeah,
wrestle. They
yeah,
like these indie guys like Kenny Omega and Adam Cole, those kind of guys. They don't like the
yeah.
big, strong like that.
No, fair play, fair play. Yeah, okay, here's what my thinking on it. Kevin and Sammy retain. The
Yeah, they're
reason
winning
they
for sure.
retain is because Jay and Jimmy are going to interfere in this somehow and cost them the match.
Yeah.
Even right. So what happened on Monday is they interfered or something when they were having their face off with so Solo and Roman were talking to the to Kevin and Sammy, sorry, and attack behind from Jay and Jimmy. And basically Roman got mad at him for that and told him to fuck off, more or less.
There's a guy
So,
that doesn't fit into the picture, Solo Sequoia. I'm not a big fan of the guy. Like, I don't know. I know he's there because he's their cousin, but man, he's just the guy that does not fit. He's got no charisma, no character. Like,
but that's his
he's a tough
character.
guy. No,
But
I
that's
know.
his,
It's just like, no, I know he's doing his job. It's like, man,
yeah. That is the character. That's exactly what you said,
no, I
right?
know,
I
but
mean, he's
like, I
supposed to
don't
be
think he's
the
on that level with those guys. I don't think.
no, but he's up and coming, right? Give him time. He's
Yeah,
still young. I mean, if you think about it, the Usos have been in the WWE longer than Roman has,
yeah, they've been around a long time.
right? They came out with Tamina as their manager the very first time they ever came out. So I mean, if anyone should be ahead of the bloodline, it should be those two because they've been there longest,
They have, yeah, they put their dues in.
right?
They've been rewarded with championships and main events, so they.
No, for sure. And this is what I thought was really cool. So just to rub the salt in the wound even more, Roman dedicated the match to the greatest, so you know, greatest tag team of all time, the Wild Samoans,
That's
right in
hilarious.
front of Jay and Jimmy. So Kevin on Monday Night Raw dedicates their victory to the Usos.
The greatest tag team, they say.
Exactly. Right. So here's my thinking. I think this is how it's going to happen because you can't put that tag team title on Roman because if he's not going to be around for 3 months at a time, you can't have tag team titles on
No,
Roman.
no.
Right.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens are winning this
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. So they win this. And then basically, this is basically just a story forward that story.
Yeah, and just to put some superstars on the big card, really.
Yeah. No, 100%. But ultimately, the goal for this match isn't for the titles. It's to further the story between the bloodline. That's
Yeah,
all it is. That's all
true.
it is, people. All right, women's title match, SmackDown, Rhea Ripley versus Natalia. Rhea Ripley, just will take this away, no problem. There's not much to say.
Not even close, dude.
No, I think you're gonna have moments there where Natalia is gonna show that she's the veteran and come close, but ultimately at the end of it, it's Rhea.
Yeah.
We're
Rhea's
gonna
going to
leave
retain
that.
for a while.
Yeah, she's gonna retain for a while. Raw's Women's Championship match, Bianca Belair, Asuka. Now here's the one match that I think we could get some shockwaves from. The rest of this card is pretty standard in my opinion, but I think
Yeah, it's
this.
not a standout card.
Well, I mean, it's an okay card for what it's worth, right? But let's just say it like this: if there's one shocker in this, I think this might be the match, right? Bianca might drop it to Asuka here, and
Something's got to happen because we know it's probably Seth's going to win. We know Owen's going to win. So, yeah, I could see that. Oscar
right?
might take the belt. We got to have some sort of something. So, I
Yeah,
think you're onto something there.
yeah, so this potentially could be that match, right? I mean, no one's thinking about it. I mean, look how fast we bypassed the Natalia
Yeah,
match
it's too
just now,
obvious.
right? It's too obvious. That being said, maybe she loses. Who knows, right?
Who
Anything is
knows? You never know in
possible,
wrestling,
right?
man.
Right.
Thinking.
So that's the thing. But if I had to pick a match on this particular card, this would be the one where a title would change hands.
I agree with
Right?
you. Bianca's had it a long time. You let Oscar
Yeah.
have it for a bit, and she can always win it back, or they can feud for a while.
No, that's the thing. And I think, like I said earlier, I think you're gonna get her, Bianca, and the Profits turning heel soon here.
That'd be
So
good.
I have a feeling this is where Montez is going to come out strong, and I
I
think
hope
Bianca
so.
is going to come out strong. I almost have a feeling that the Profits Montez is going to turn on.
He's such an amazing talent.
This is how I'm predicting this right now. There's one way of this is going to happen. Either all three turn and do something together because they've never. Everybody knows they're together, but they've never really worked together per se. Right? They've
Yeah.
had a few segments here and there behind the scenes, or I have a feeling that something's going to happen where Angelo's going to, lose, get covered and pinned. Montez is going to lose his shit somehow.
Yeah,
Attack
that's what
him.
I'm thinking. They got to break this up here. If Montez is going to be that big star, they got to have a fallout, and they got to go their own way.
Yeah. Either they stick together as a heel tag team, or they're going to break up, right? And this is where Bianca comes in to kind of separate it and whatnot, and she fucking turns on Angelo as well.
Maybe. I hope they break up just because Montez is such a talent, a far, far superior talent than Angelo Dawkins. He's good, but he's not on Montez's level. Montez needs a chance to shine as a single star here.
Well, yeah, and I think we're gonna get it this year. This year we're
I
gonna
hope
get
so.
it, right? I mean we're coming close to the money in the bank. This could be the he may
No
not
wrestler
win.
in history can jump as high as Montez Ford. Man, can that guy jump?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
No, his standing base is amazing, right? Like I mean,
He
there's
can slam
vertical.
dunk that ball, no problem, man.
Oh, for sure, with ease, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, like I said, I think with Money in the Bank coming up next now, everything's kind of gearing up to that now. That's going to be in the UK as well, actually, that pay-per-view.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're all over the world. All right, let's move on here. Gunther versus Mustafa Ali. Now, this potentially could also be another shocker, only because Mustafa Ali is in Saudi Arabia, but I don't see it happening. I'm still
No.
going to put my money on Bianca losing this week.
Yeah. It'll be a good match, Gunther and Mustafa, but
I think so too. I think it's going to be really, really fun. I don't think it's going to hurt Gunther, and I think all the benefit is going to be for Mustafa. He's gradually becoming a face. He's gradually getting that kind of push that we were talking about, before WrestleMania, that this is one guy who's probably going to get a push now.
yeah.
So, we're starting to see that now, right? We're starting to see that emerge. I think he's going to put up a valiant effort and come so close to winning it. But
It'll be a good match. I'm looking forward to it. Both
yeah,
guys can go, so it should be good.
no, I think it's going to be really, really fun to watch. And here we go. Brock Lesnar versus Cody Rhodes.
Speaking of that, I thought that Raw segment was a little bit over the top. I mean,
Which
smashed him
one?
with the keg.
Which
When
one?
he took his arm and hit him with the keg. And then, Triple H is telling everybody his arm's broken. Like, I felt it a little bit. And then everybody's telling him his arm's broken, his arm's broken. Like, I don't know. Felt a little too dramatic for me, but should be a good match. Cody will win. I'm looking forward to the match. I mean, but I don't
This
see Brock taking this one.
this story, um, this story on Raw last night reminded me of an old school Raw. It was kind of enjoyable. I mean, the show goes on the air, and moments ago, right? And
Mhm.
Cody gets the shit kicked out of him.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really building this up, right? Okay, where are they gonna go with this, right? Um, then all the stuff you talked about, yeah, we don't know, and
Yeah.
then Cody comes out, and then Brock does him in again. But ultimately, I think the match is gonna happen. I think Cody's gonna win, and this is what they're building it up to be, right?
And we'll see Cody versus Seth. If Seth takes the belt like we think, and you're going to see the Cody and Seth program again.
Yeah, I
Because
maybe
who else is
eventually.
Seth? Who else going to work with Seth if he
Well, I
wins it?
mean, this is where you have the opportunity to put the light on someone new. There are a lot of new feuds there, right? It doesn't
Yeah.
necessarily have to be. I don't think Cody's there yet. To be completely honest, I don't think Cody's going to be ready. Well, I mean, Cody's ready, but I don't think it's time for him to
I don't think
compete.
so myself, but I'm just
No,
thinking like, he's
but
going to beat Brock. Seth's going to win. Who else are
well,
they going to put?
dude, I think the first feud that Seth will go into is with Drew McIntyre.
I don't think so, man. I don't think it's going to be Drew.
I think
Who
it's going
knows?
to be.
We never know what they're thinking,
Well,
but
look. I look at it this way: Drew hasn't been on TV. He's also a part of the Raw roster now, right? He hasn't been on TV since he lost at WrestleMania. He has all the reasons in the world to come back angry because he wasn't considered for this tournament. He wasn't a
mm,
part of it. None of it. This will give them the opportunity to build up Bronson Reed a little bit more. Because ultimately, what I want to see is the Seth Bronson Reed for SummerSlam at some point, right? Somewhere, right? I
yeah,
really want to
gotta
see
let the
that,
young guys get up there.
right? So this is the opportunity. Like I said, you have the established champion, the guy with the name. You bring in the other guy, turn him heel, let them go with it for a couple months, and then by that time, some of these young guys that you have up there right now that have all the potential in the world, you start bringing them in, and you start having feuds.
I agree with you. I just don't think it's going to be Drew. I don't think it's Drew and Seth. I just got a feeling they don't see Drew in that spot. I don't know. We'll find out, but I just don't think it will be Drew.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I'm saying Drew because I'm just looking at the roster. To be fair, there's a lot of guys there. There could be so many different guys that could go on this one, right?
Mm-hmm.
But anyone ultimately that I think right away of are all on SmackDown now. So,
Unless
this
you
is,
see Brock and Seth go at it again, but I don't see that happening. They could have a
well,
little feud.
look, the only two guys that can jump ship at any time they want is Brock and Omos, right?
Yeah.
Right. I just don't see Brock because that's just a mountain, man.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And Brock can't keep losing.
Yeah, I
He's going
know.
to lose again. This is 4 or 5 in a row now that Brock's lost. No one's talking about that.
Nobody noticed because he's such a big. He's just
I get
kicks
it, but
butt, man.
I'm only noticing it because I am looking at the size of the man and everything.
I know it's getting a little ridiculous.
Right? Him and
Hey, maybe he
Omos.
does beat Cody. They have a rubber match. It could be.
Well, I mean, potentially. I'm ultimately look. There is no way in hell that Cody can win this match in the state that Brock has put him in.
Yeah.
Right? If he's going into this match with a broken arm, a full-bodied man, a full strong, like a man, a full power, like a Braun Strowman or Roman Reigns, who are like the strongest of the strong, have a hard time with this guy.
I know.
Omos has a hard time, and yes, Seth has beat him, but it just feels.
Well, I think if Brock does win, he's going to get through the Kimura or something, right? Get him in some sort of arm lock, tap him out, and they'll have a rubber match, 1-on-1.
I think the only way Brock wins is by submission, but Cody doesn't tap; he passes out.
That could be, yeah.
Right? That way you keep Cody strong. He doesn't tap out, and you just show the man's will. He never gave up.
I hope Brock wins because they have a pretty good feud going on here and a good story. So we got to keep this going a little bit so you get Brock to win, and then we can have another one, Money in the
Well,
Bank,
I'm
whatever.
thinking about it. Honestly, I think Brock will win. Now that I'm putting more and more thought into it.
Just think
Yeah,
about a Brock Cody SummerSlam, the rubber match,
I
right?
think that would potentially be that, right? That would have to be it because after Money in the Bank, what do you have? It's June is Money in the Bank, then July
Which
is Great
July.
American. July is usually Great American Bash, and then SummerSlam.
Yeah, because you have to have Brock on SummerSlam in a big match, right? So I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
Brock Cody would be big.
Yeah, I think Brock Cody would be good for SummerSlam at Ford Field as well. That's in Detroit this year,
Detroit.
right? So I think that would make more sense than having it a month later.
Because if
Then
Cody wins tonight, like on Saturday, it's like he's 2-0. The feud's kind of dead.
well, that's it, right? What's the point? And what I really liked is Brock's energy. Fight me,
But
just the
yeah,
way he was. Oh
he's coming hard, dude. I love it. Like when he's like this.
God, I love it. Like to be honest, man, I don't know if how much pressure he's actually putting on the guy. Because
Brock?
Brock's a solid worker, right?
Oh yeah.
He's snug.
If
So
he
if he
doesn't want to
locks
lose, he's not going to lose.
no, and if he locks something on you, how hard is he pulling back on you?
I think he pulls back a little bit depending on how much he likes you, a little
Right,
bit
but
harder, a
his
little bit less.
face was red and everything. Like, I mean, if this guy was trying to act, fucking good job, man.
Just like the story Roman's Reigns says, I said it before when he was at WrestleMania. Him and Vince didn't really tell him the match much. We'll go out there, we'll call it. Brock threw him into the turnbuckle, started doing the shoulder checks, and it's on now. Boy, he ended up breaking his ribs. He didn't mean to. And then it was on. It's like, holy crap. And Vince just basically threw me to the wolves and let Brock see it would make a man of me, I guess, pretty much.
Dude, I mean, it comes to a point where, you know what, sometimes you got to fight that big fish, right? I
Yeah.
mean, it's kind of like the story of the dad teaching his children to swim, right? Like, I can't swim, dad, I can't swim. Guy picks up. John Wayne did this. I remember it was in one of those old Western movies, right? No, legit, right? Like, little Jimmy was there. Gosh, golly, sir, I can't swim. John Wayne just picks him up by the scruff of his pants and his collar and tosses him in the water, right?
Learn how to swim.
And he's just standing there like this. And then the guy's mom comes, "What did you do? Why did you throw little Jimmy in the water?" He's learning how to swim, but he can't swim. Like, neither can I. And he almost threw the lady in
Hilarious.
the water, right? But I mean, yeah, sometimes you just gotta fight the lines, man, and then kind of go from there. All right,
Yeah.
so Brock, I'm saying Brock, rubber match. It has to be.
It has to be. Like, I don't see Cody taking it. Not two in a row. Not with a broken arm scenario.
No, Trish versus Becky. It should be fun.
It should have this. I'm surprised this match is not more over. The crowd didn't seem too hyped about it. I don't know. Maybe it's the crowd they were in. Well, I'm not sure where the last Raw was, but it didn't
It was
seem
in
that
Hershey,
excited
Pennsylvania.
in Pennsylvania. Yeah, they didn't seem too excited for it. I don't know. It was just that
Um,
crowd. It'll be a good match because Trish is still in amazing shape. She can
yeah,
still go.
I'm trying to find something wrong with Trish, to be honest. And if there's anything that I had to pick on, would probably be her promo skills.
She's
You know
never
what I
the
mean?
best of the promos, but like
No, no,
look
no, no,
wise
no,
and
no, no.
performance
Look wise,
wise,
that's what I'm saying. But because this was just strictly a promo, and Becky wasn't really
yeah.
saying anything in the beginning, and Trish was just kind of talking, right? It's just kind of like, I don't know. It's like,
She's not never been the best with the stick.
no, she hasn't been, right? And she kind of talks as it. I know she's trying, but it's sarcastically bad.
It's bad. So that's why
Right?
I'm saying I don't think the crowd was too into it because of that.
No, but the crowd did get into it once Becky started chirping.
Yeah. Once they have a good match, it'll be a good match
Yeah,
because they
I
don't have
think
to
it'll
talk.
be a good match. It'll be fun, and kind of curious to see how this goes. But I think Becky wins
I think so too. But it'll
because
be a good match.
yeah, because I don't know what Trisha's status is, if she's full time now, if she's just coming in for this one, pop
I
or
think you'll
whatever.
see her a few times a year, not all the time, not every
Yeah,
Raw.
yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah,
every,
yeah. So I mean, in order to kind of like, if she's not going to stick around, then Becky wins.
I agree.
That's where I'm going to go with that. All right. I tell you what, man, that was the card.
It's a solid card. It's not the greatest card of all time, but should be decent. Some good matches on there. A couple surprises. We'll see what happens.
The only title not being defended is one Austin Theory. He does not have a match on this card.
I don't
Interesting.
get that, man. Young has a belt. He should be on this card to give him a match.
Should be. Well, it's Night of Champions, right?
There's only six. There's only six matches here. Throw one for Austin, and still SmackDown coming up. They could do one last minute. I doubt it.
Well, I know it's already been pre-recorded.
It was already pretty. Yeah. So then he's okay.
Yeah,
I don't know why
so
they flubbed on that one.
yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it was either Brock or Trish. One of those matches would have had to go on. I don't know. I don't think they have any time constraints or anything against them that way,
They
right?
could have put another match on. They could have 7
Yeah.
easily.
Because their stadium, it's right in the middle of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's not a part of the metropolis or anything. You literally have to drive out
It's on the
into the
outskirts.
desert, yeah, to go to the stadium. So I don't think noise bylaws or anything like that are, a factor in Saudi Arabia.
They can make up their
So
own rules as they go over there, man.
that's it. That's it. All right, man. So that's the card for tonight.
For Saturday, yeah.
For Saturdays. So we talked about it. Goldberg got hurt. We talked about it off the air. He hit his head on a tractor. He's pretty gashed up. If you want to check it out, pictures are
Yeah,
online.
that's gosh.
Yeah. I don't know. What else is going on here?
AEW is going back to the theaters. They got a pay per view coming up, Double or Nothing in the theater. I seen the promotion for that, so it'll be interesting to see how many people show up for that because that's in the UK, so that's an early card. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right.
I like that
So
idea though.
we have to kind of touch on this. I know this day in wrestling is your bag, but I'm gonna take this one for now. But if you have anything else, drop it. Today is the 24th anniversary of one Owen Hart's passing. Um, I remember that pay-per-view. I remember watching it.
Yeah, I was watching it too. Yeah.
And you know what? That was just kind of crazy. Who would have
One of the
thought?
most shocking and one of the most saddest moments in wrestling, probably the saddest moment in wrestling, because it happened during the show.
Well, yeah,
And
it happened in
and,
the
and
show.
it's something they've done thousands of times. You know, Vince even tries it out. Michaels has done it. Just that one time was you couldn't even. It's unthinkable.
Right. Now,
That,
that all being said and everything, the Hall of Fame isn't right, in my opinion, until they put Owen in there. And I know it's not on WWE in any way. This is all because of Martha Hart, his wife. And I'm not going to say anything negative about her because she's doing what she thinks is right. And I understand that. But ultimately, I don't think the screw job and I don't think any of the things that led up to him passing helped with her memory or her logic in
well, she
thinking.
should put the screw job aside because if Brett can get over and take his spot in the Hall of Fame, she should only be focused on what happened to her husband. It's been almost 25 years. Still, you want to honor him, have a night where they can honor him, let
And
him go
and
to
and
immortals,
that's
right?
why she's doing all that shit with AEW,
Yeah,
right? She's doing all the things that WWE should be doing is
with
being done
AEW.
through AEW.
But he never wrestled there, so it doesn't have the
But
same feel,
it
right?
doesn't, it doesn't at all. But this
I
is
get why I get where she's coming from, but that's like saying that's like taking Wayne Gretzky and taking him over to the KHL. Well, he never played in the KHL. Yes, he's the greatest hockey player ever. He never played in the KHL. Not the same.
no. I know what
I
you're
get
saying
it.
exactly.
She
I
lost her
get
husband, but
no. I know she lost her husband, and I think that's why she's probably not let it go,
mm-hmm.
right? I mean, it's one thing being screwed over and being brought back into the fold and whatnot. It's another thing to watch your husband die in the ring.
Yeah, no, I hear
Right.
you. I hear what
Right.
you.
And I understand that, which is why I don't want to badmouth her in any way. But
I'm
the
not going to
whole,
badmouth her. I would just say
I
after
know, I know.
25 years,
Yeah. But what I'm saying is I'm trying not to badmouth her because everything that they're doing over there should be done over here.
absolutely.
Ultimately, all the tournaments, all that kind of stuff, that should all be done in WWE.
Now I
It
could
should,
see if he wrestled in AEW and WWE like a WCW, but he
yeah.
never. So it's like,
No,
come on.
he is through and through. Well, he had a couple matches in WCW.
Yeah, but nobody knows about it though.
No, he does. Nobody does, right? And so, but he is a WWE guy, and I think Martha needs to just kind of relax now, man, and just kind of, I don't
Speaking
know,
of
man.
speaking of the Hall of Fame, Vince, have a real Hall of Fame. There is no WWE Hall of Fame. The Hall of Fame is where you can go and see Babe Ruth's jersey and Wayne Gretzky's hockey pucks and Brett Favre's football. Dude, get a museum, buy a building, put all the memorabilia, have a big wall, have a Hall of Fame where the fans can go and visit and make a killing on it. I don't know why he doesn't do that because this is the only Hall of Fame that doesn't have a Hall of Fame, a
Well,
physical Hall of Fame. I don't get
okay,
it.
so just to back up what you're saying, I 100% agree with you. They should have a physical Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
They
crazy.
have they have this show on A&E called WWE Treasures or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have these fucking warehouses upon warehouses, shelves upon shelves.
Tough.
Do you remember that Indiana Jones movie where they take the artifact and then they put it in this like room full of
Yeah.
boxes and crates? That's what I'm talking about. This is what the WWE has. And what they do is they have these shows where they go in there and they unearth all these things that these guys had. Like, for example, The Undertaker's Phantom of the Opera mask that he wore for a while.
Mm-hmm.
That was there. The casket that had Yokozuna. That's in there.
Has anybody ever asked Vince why he doesn't have a physical Hall of Fame? Has anybody ever asked him on an interview? Because I've never heard it.
I don't think anyone's ever asked him, but I
I'm
think
sure
they,
privately guys go, "What's up, Vince?" He
right,
has a
yeah,
reason,
yeah.
but do it, dude.
Look, dude, they can fill out a whole hall. Like, think about it, Andre, the exhibit for Andre the Giant, right?
Hogan.
Hogan's exhibit. You can have the Ultimate Warrior exhibit. It can be interactive. It could be like the Hockey Hall of Fame
But
where
they
you
make a
can,
killing on that, man.
right? You could have a thing where you and I can sit down and commentate a match and get a copy of it,
Oh yeah, and all the shirts and
right?
hats they
Like
sell, like
shirts,
it's
hats, the
insane.
merch, and just to walk through it. Like, dude, you could have a 10,000 square foot place and still be too small.
Oh yeah.
Right. So, I mean, maybe something down the line, if we ever get the opportunity to talk to someone up there, we'll ask that question.
If I ever got to meet Vince, the one thing I'd ask him besides his daughter to meet is, Vince, how come you don't have a physical Hall of Fame? Because I've never heard anybody ask him that. He might say, "Get lost, dude," or he might say something. I don't know, but that's one
Yeah,
question.
no. I'd ask him, why did you grow that gay mustache?
I can't believe that too. I'm still in shock. Do they still have it? Has anybody said? I don't know, but man,
I don't know, man. I'd ask him straight up, I do, why the gay mustache?
maybe he's just trolling everybody. Like, screw, like I'm Vince, I do what I want. I dye my hair, grow a mustache. F you all. I don't know what he was doing, man.
He can do whatever he wants. He's Vince McMahon, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. So here's something interesting that I saw. I mean, this is all speculation and rumor. We don't know if this is going to happen, but they're already talking WrestleMania 40 and a potential opponent for Cody Rhodes.
Who's that?
Gunther.
That'd be a good match, but that won't be any belts on the line. Well, maybe
Well,
Gunther's belt.
here's how I look at it. I think Gunther probably, in order for this to happen, one of them has to be champion of some sort, right?
Yeah.
Now, what I potentially see here, if this is what they're looking at, Gunther loses or wins Money in the Bank and cashes it in.
Cody, yeah, you mean cashing for the belt?
Well, yeah.
And take it off who? Roman or Seth?
It'd have to be Seth. Roman's not losing the title anytime soon. Roman Reigns will be champion after WrestleMania 40.
You think he'll keep it even after WrestleMania 40?
I believe so, because he's only, I'm saying a few hundred days away, but
I just want to clear the Rock will never wrestle again at WrestleMania. That rumor's dead. He's never going to do it. It's not going to happen.
no, but look, I think Roman's going to.
I think Roman's will lose by at least by WrestleMania.
No, Roman will hold it. If he loses, it'll be after WrestleMania because they want him now to pass Hogan on the all-time list. Yeah, right. Because right now he's sitting sixth. And, there's no way in hell he's going to beat Bruno or Bob Backlund, because I don't think this generation of wrestling fans wants to see one guy as champion for 5 years.
No.
Right? I mean, you're not going to get into the 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 days that Bruno did.
Yeah.
That was a different.
Who knows? You never know in wrestling. They could shock you. We all think he's going to win. The next thing you know, a small package and he loses, right?
Well, if anything
you
can
could be
happen.
right though. They do like breaking records, so
Yeah,
they might do.
I think this is one they want to break because they're so fucking close to it, right? I mean, you
Yeah.
can't. In order to break a record like that, you got to start from day one,
I know.
right? They're already halfway there. They're three quarters of the way there.
Yeah, you might as well
Right?
see it through.
See it through, and then he has his own spot. He's not sharing with anyone. He's not tied with anybody. He stands.
You could even
alone.
tie Hogan to that storyline and be like, "This is the guy that's going to break your record. Come sit ringside, get involved in the program a little bit." You know what I mean?
Possibly. I mean, outside of that, who else is left on that list is alive? Bob Backlund.
That's it. Bob and
Right.
Hogan.
Right? I mean, Bob and Hogan are the only guys that are probably left on that list.
Speaking
right?
of Hogan, he's wasting so much time and not having his own podcast, or at least not doing more podcasts. I don't know why he's not doing something more, but he should be.
Because when guys like him and The Rock go on a show, everyone listens.
I know.
Right? I mean, it comes back to what you talk to me and try to convince me of all the time. Attractions.
They are, yeah. They know that too.
Right? Hogan was an attraction and he treats the podcasting like an attraction, right? So,
Yeah.
I mean, who knows, man? Maybe he'll come on our show. We'll keep working at it.
What is
We'll try
Hogan
to
now?
get him on here.
68, 67?
65, somewhere around there, 65 to 70, somewhere in that range.
Yeah. So,
But
I mean, he's
still
not
looks
getting
great.
younger. He's got 10, 15 years left. You figured he
No,
might get
he's not looking younger, but I mean, I'm sure, you know what? Like I said, the way we're going, we'll have him eventually.
In the next couple of years, we got to get to Hogan's Beach Shop on karaoke night.
Oh, no, we'll get there. We'll get there, right? I mean, hopefully they open up a Hall of Fame in the same area and we can do both.
Yeah,
And,
hey, we could probably get Nick Hogan. Maybe not Dad.
Yeah, he's gained a lot of weight, right?
I was gonna say Nick's buffing up like Pops, man. He's training with Pops all the time. He's looking pretty big.
Yeah. He looks
Really
pretty
puffed
big
up
there. So Eric Bischoff does not seem to be a fan of AEW because now he's saying that the AEW Collision logo, the new show that's coming out Saturday, will backfire
I
because
say the same thing. It's a
too
terrible
similar
idea.
to the Nitro logo.
Why are they doing that? I don't get why they're going up against boxing pay-per-views, WWE pay-per-views. Nobody's going to be watching the collision shows. Like, what's special about this show that they're doing it for? Because
Well,
are they getting rid of Rampage?
no, Rampage is still there. They're just
So
adding more and more
we got
content
Dynamite,
because
Rampage, and Collision.
and now Collision, but they got rid of Dark. They got rid of Elevation, the shows that they had
But nobody
on.
watched Dark on YouTube though.
Well, you know what? Nobody did, but I mean, you eliminate these two shows.
So is Collision going to be like a marquee show? Is it going to be like a bottom of the barrel show, like a Sunday Night Heat? Like what's? I don't get it.
Based on what I remember as a kid at wrestling, Saturday night at 5 p.m. on TBS was WCW Saturday night.
Mhm.
And that's basically what I see this being.
But they got to realize times are different now. This is a boxing show on this.
No, and they'll learn the hard
UFC.
way, right? I mean, they'll learn the hard way. Like, okay, think about it. It kind of sucks when you're on TBS and TNT, yet your ratings are shit, but they're still the best ones on the network for the day,
Yeah.
right? So, I
And
mean,
so now potentially for 1 week we could have Rampage, we could have Dynamite, Collision, and then the pay-per-view. So we could have 4 shows in 7 days.
yeah,
That's
very
just too
similar.
much.
No,
It's too
no,
much.
I mean, yeah, it's true. But look,
I'm with
WWE does-
Bischoff on this one.
yeah, no, I'm not going to disagree. I haven't seen the logo, to be honest, so I'm not sure what, I have to kind of look it up and see what it's all about. Um, ah, Steve Austin reveals Mount Rushmore of his favorite career moments.
Let's hear it.
Working with The Rock, all the Vince McMahon moments,
Classic.
they're all kind of all over here. Blah, 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 took me to their wing. Being able to learn under the wing of a lot of great veterans and stuff like that. So, he's paying his dues. Oh, interesting. You ready for this one?
Yeah.
Working a 30-minute Ironman match, more or less. They call that a Broadway.
Yep.
With Ricky the Dragon Steamboat. That
Yeah,
was
remember
never
those
recorded.
Good matches.
Yeah. No, they were never televised or
Oh, on
recorded.
Broadway, you said.
No, okay. So before
I
they
didn't see
called
these
it
ones.
before they called it an Ironman match, it
Yeah.
used to be called a Broadway match.
These weren't the ones when he wrestled Ricky in WCW when he had the long hair.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those ones.
No, but these weren't on televised. Like this is a particular
They
match
weren't
he
on
had.
they were on the Ricky Steamboat DVD.
No. This was an untelevised match or unrecorded match that he
Oh,
had
okay. Yeah.
with Ricky at the LA Forum
Oh,
back
okay.
in the day. Yeah.
It would have been good because the ones they did televise were really good. So
No, for sure. All right, Chance, I tell you what, brother man, we've kind of gone through the stories of the week. The
Yep.
stories are just getting stupider and stupider as we go here.
World Wrestling for you.
Yeah, there you go. Oh, what was I going to touch on here really quick? The women's tag team titles are not going to be defended here either. They're doing a four-way dance for the titles on Monday Night Raw.
Okay.
Just a heads up, give you a heads up. Ronda and them are probably going to take the straps on
I
that
would think
night.
so.
Yeah, that makes sense because they were supposed to take the straps at WrestleMania.
Yeah, they didn't.
That was the plan, right? But here's the thing: they're going to speed this story fast because I think Ronda wants to take time off.
That's what they're saying.
Right. So if that's the case, she wins the title. They're going to move fast. They're going to do whatever they're going to do and then lose quick and then kind of go from there. Liv Morgan is out. She's busted up her arm, so she's not going to be around for a while. And that's basically it, man.
Oh, covered a lot of ground today.
We did. John Cena below is what? Oh, okay. So he's talking about Austin Theory, right? They asked him about Austin Theory, and Cena says the best advice he can give him is to fail.
Fail, learn from it.
To fail, to get him in spaces to speak and have him not be able to craft what he wants to say. To say is a young man trying to find his way. Fast forward to where he doesn't have to say a fucking word. That's a man who knows who he is, period. Right? So in essence, basically he's saying, look, it took Roman 10 years to get to the level where he's at.
Yeah.
Right? Austin is everything's turning up roses for Austin right now. Fail, he's saying basically, and learn from those experiences to become the guy you're supposed to become.
It all depends if the boss will let him fail. They might not want him to fail because they said he's their pet project, so that might not be happen that way. So it depends.
Well, I think if Cena gets in the ear of Vince as well, and Cena is close to Vince and they're
Yeah, they're
good
like
friends,
best friends,
So
like
I
a
mean,
dad father. Yeah,
yeah. So I mean, there's
yeah,
potential
it
there,
could be.
right? All right, brother. Do you have anything?
I do. I
Top
got a
five?
top five for you.
What do you got?
Top five, not your favorite. Top five greatest wrestling tag teams of all time. Not your favorite. Who you think are the greatest five?
The greatest five of all time?
Yeah.
Okay. The Hart Foundation, the British Bulldogs, um, Kelly and Arn, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
The Road Warriors.
One more.
Yeah. And the Midnight Express, man. They'd have to be the top five tag teams of all time. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good list.
it's a tough one because I want, the Samoans are in there as well.
Rockers,
The Rockers
DT.
were in there as well, but I kind of think I was trying to lean more towards tag team specialists.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, I'm looking at guys who had more, well, outside of Bret Hart, I guess, obviously, but I try to base it on guys and teams that had more success as tag teams than they ever would have as individuals. Like, I mean, if you think about it, fuck, man, the Rock and Roll Express as well. You got to put them on that
You
list
could.
as
I
well.
don't think so myself, but some people would say, Dudley Boys or Hardy Boys. I don't think they're on that level myself, but technically Dudley Boys, they won the most championships ever, tag teams,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, no, for sure. I
Not
mean,
my cup of tea, but they
no,
would be
no,
at
but they're
least
up there as well. Yeah. And again, I'm just kind of looking at that. So I think for me, that would probably be the top five tag teams of all time, just because of what they accomplished and the times that they were in,
I agree.
where tag team wrestling was something.
Yeah.
I mean, shit, I don't know if a top five is big enough because then now I'm thinking Demolition, Powers of Pain, the
Speaking of
Orient
that, they're
Express.
never going to put Warlord wants to get in the Hall of Fame. I don't think he's ever going to get in.
No, right? I mean, it just kind of
Maybe it's
like,
Powers of Pain. I mean, there's been worse people in the Hall of Fame than Powers of Pain, so they could get in there as a team, you think, but they're
well,
not
I
in
don't,
yet.
I don't think, I only say the power names because they fit every spectacle. They were big, they were massive, right? So from that's why I always thought that was one team that didn't become bigger than they should have.
Yeah, they had it all. I'm not sure what happened backstage,
Dude,
but they did
those
that
guys were
push. What about
huge.
Bushwhackers are up there too?
But that's the thing. I mean, what else can you do?
It's a
You got the
lot.
Bushwhackers, right? I mean, shit. I don't know, man. We could go forever and ever here with these tag teams.
Yeah, your
Yeah,
top five, but yeah, I agree
but
with that.
off the top of my head, I would have to say those are my five guys, man. That Greg Maddox thing in the background there reminds me of like a 1950s, 1960s kind of pendant.
Yeah, I got it actually probably in 2010 at a sports store in the States. I was just looking through random stuff, pulled it up. I was just, I gotta get that.
No, dude, it's really cool because it's just kind of it's
The
drawn,
pennant.
right?
Yeah.
It's kind of it's not an actual picture.
Yeah, the pennant. Yeah. It's
So
cool.
the way it was done and everything, it just kind of reminds me of old school baseball. I always stare at that thing. I think that's my thing that I stare at
Yeah, it's cool. It's
when
really
I'm
cool.
talking to you.
It's a rare piece. Like, I mean, you can get it, but you're not going to find it in stores. I mean, you can maybe get it on eBay or something. But yeah, I seen it. It was
Probably
only
put
eight.
it like keep it up on your wall, but probably put in some plastic, man. Protect
Yeah, I
it.
could get that framed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool
Awesome,
piece.
awesome. All right, brother man. On that note, let's wrap this baby up and be on our merry ways. We are at the beginning of the week, so everybody enjoy the week. Have a great time. Be safe. Enjoy everything. And yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday. Lots to talk about on Thursday as well, my friend. A
A good
lot
one.
to talk about. Yeah, absolutely. On that note, he's Chance Michaels.
In the words of the great ACDC, those that download, like, subscribe to the podcast, we salute you.
We do salute you. And in the words of the great infamous Ed Whalen, in the meantime and in the meantime and in between time, that's it for Samp&Chance, guys. We will talk to you on Thursday. Everyone, be safe and adios, muchachos.